What if the real reason that you don't feel optimal is not because you're just getting older or even stress, but because silent inflammation is slowly disrupting what's going on in your body? But the good news is, in as little as 2 to 4 weeks, this can be reversed by just changing what's on your plate. Food can be the most powerful medicine. And today I am going to give you 5 nutritional strategies that you can incorporate into your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Dr. Var. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine, and I'm also certified in functional medicine. And it is my mission to bring you information to help you uncover the root causes of your chronic symptoms and medical conditions, empowering you to reach your optimal health. Let's dive in. So strategy number 1 is to cut the inflammatory triggers. And here are 3 triggers that are in our diet that we commonly eat. Number 1 are industrial seed oils. So these are vegetable oils that are extracted from some sort of seed using a process where they use a solvent such as hexane, which is a chemical solvent, to extract the oil under heated conditions. And as a result, these industrial seed oils are very high in omega-6 fats. And omega-6 fats can be very inflammatory, especially if you have too many of them. Now, a little bit is okay, but in our diets today, we get an overabundance of these omega-6 inflammatory fats, thus increasing inflammation. So common industrial seed oils are soybean oil, canola oil, especially if it doesn't say cold pressed canola oil, and corn oil, and there are many others. But soybean oil is found a lot in salad dressings and processed foods, so you really want to check your labels. Better oils to use are ones that are expressed using a cold expressor process, so it avoids the heat where it doesn't cause a higher amount of omega-6. And these are ones like olive oil, avocado oil, extra virgin coconut oil. Now, sometimes those better oils are more expensive, and it may be impossible to avoid it completely. So what you want to do is, if it's hard for you to get all those omega-6 fats out, is you want to bump up your omega-3 intake. And these are foods that are rich in omega-3, such as fatty fish, such as salmon or sardines, nuts, avocados, olives, and seeds, such as chia seeds, hemp seeds, and flax seeds. Number 2 are refined sugars. I'm sure this is not any surprise, but refined sugars, including some of the more natural sugars, are still processed to some extent. So when you're eating a product, you want to look at the label and you want to try to get as minimal added sugars as you can. So now refined sugars, again, are found in a lot of processed foods, in sugary drinks and sodas. If you're drinking 1 can of soda, and that's a little 12-ounce can, you're getting at least 1.5 times to 2 times the amount of your daily sugar requirement. So if you're drinking 3 or 4 cans of soda, then you are really doing your body a disservice and really jacking up the inflammation and setting yourself up for chronic health conditions. Now, these refined sugars can spike up your insulin, and anytime you have high insulin, that is going to cause more inflammation. Now, do keep in mind these are refined sugars, so natural sugars that are found in fruits or vegetables or even dairy is okay, as long as it's not added sugar. Number 3 are highly processed carbs. So a lot of processed carbs also spike insulin because the highly processed carbs convert to sugar. So even if you see whole wheat bread, you really need to look at the label, because if the ingredient says enriched and it doesn't say 100% whole wheat, then it's like eating white bread and there's really no difference. So you really need to be selective about the types of whole fiber, whole grain carbs that you're eating, because not all of them are truly whole grain. All right, strategy number 2 is we get to add stuff. We're going to add more antioxidant rich foods. And these are basically getting a variety of colors of fruits and vegetables. When you have inflammation, you may have a lot of free radicals that are floating around. And these free radicals further trigger more inflammation. And these antioxidants, though, can neutralize these free radicals, and this is one strategy to help you lower your inflammation. You want to get a variety of different colors. You want to get blue, black, purple, red, orange, yellow, green, and white, tan, brown. So those are all your different groups of different colors. Eventually, your goal is to try to get 1 to 2 servings from each food color group. Strategy 3 is eat the right fats. And I touched on this earlier when we were talking about the industrial seed oils. So I won't belabor it too much here, but it is very important that you get your omega-3s daily. So fatty fish, and there are particular ones, and you can remember the acronym SMASH, salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, and herring. And you do want to make sure you get the fatty fish, if you get them packed in oil, that it's an olive oil or avocado oil. And then you want to eat things like nuts, seeds, avocados. So you want to incorporate all those into your diet. You want to try to avoid trans fats. Those are banned now in the US, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And you do want to watch your consumption of saturated fats, which you get mostly from dairy and animal proteins. All right, now we're up to strategy 4, and this is to eat fermented foods and fiber. Over 70% of your immune system resides in your gut, so you have to keep your gut healthy. Otherwise, your immune system's going to go haywire, and this triggers inflammation. It can make inflammatory molecules that can actually go into your bloodstream, cause neuroinflammation. Inflammation in your gut can also increase your risk for autoimmune disease and food sensitivities. So when your gut is inflamed, your whole body's inflamed. And a lot of times people will have symptoms that aren't even gut symptoms that can indicate they have a gut imbalance, such as skin rashes, brain fog, mood changes. So it's very important to keep your gut healthy. And fermented foods and fiber are some of the most important foods for your gut. Now, I will put a disclaimer: if you do have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or intestinal methanogen overgrowth, then you do want to avoid these for a period of time and work with your functional medicine provider or integrated medicine provider to help calm the SIBO down and get rid of that before you start adding these foods back. But for those of us that do not have that condition, feel free to add these to your diet. If you get kimchi or sauerkraut or kombucha, you want to get the refrigerated version because those are the live ones. If you get the shelf-stable ones, they more likely don't have active probiotics in them. Greek yogurt, kefir are also excellent sources of probiotics if you don't have a dairy sensitivity. And then you want to make sure you get prebiotic foods, which are fibers, because they feed the probiotics, which are essentially your good bacteria in your gut. And by feeding those good bacteria, you're allowing them to replicate, and you're also allowing them to produce something called a short-chain fatty acid, which your gut needs to help reduce inflammation. Short-chain fatty acids are also important for signaling several of your hormones, including your appetite and satiety hormones. So gut health can really play a role in your weight too. And when you keep your weight down, you also reduce inflammation, because as soon as you gain weight, you gain fat cells, and fat cells are very inflammatory. So strategy 5 is to eat meals that help keep your blood sugar balanced. And the best combination is to have a protein, fiber, and healthy fat. So you do want to check with your doctor, because if you do have chronic kidney disease, you may have to minimize your protein. But the fiber and the protein really helps keep your blood sugar balanced and keeps you full, and you add in a healthy fat to it. That's the utopia of a good, complete meal that's going to keep your blood sugar balanced. Now, if you do want to have a carb to it, you can add it, but I would stick to a non-processed whole grain carb. So these are things that when you look at the ingredient, it's just one word, like quinoa, brown rice, or white rice. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please give it a like, subscribe for more future functional medicine tips, and share this with someone that you think might find it helpful. You can also check the link in the description for my free download of my 5R gut restoration guide that goes through the functional medicine 5R protocol. And you can take this and work with your doctor to get your gut health back in shape. Until next time, have a fantastic day.